my name's Apolomia, and welcome to the Miss Pandaria beta. As you can see, I've played a little bit. I'm going to take you through the monk starting area. I've already gone through it, so I can get a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing. There were a bunch of bugs and quite a few glitches that prevented me from recording my first walkthrough of it, which included Blizzard breaking a couple of things and my recording program not working properly. So, let's start. This is a panda, obviously. The orange pandas have tails, and the black pandas do not. Well, the black pandas do, but they've got a little nub tail. So, this is Fox, and she is a monk. So, let's get this started. When I first did this, I kind of just ran through it, and I didn't read any of the quests. I just did it really quickly. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to read all the quests so that we can understand the story a little bit. We're going to read all the abilities so that we all get a really good idea of what they are. Okay, first quest. Fresh to your training, your first task is simple. Speak to this guy. Not really good with Blizzard names. They really kind of screw me with that. Blizzard has a really good time with making the weirdest names and then trying to force people to pronounce them. Okay, today is the day when your fate will be decided. Blah blah blah. Are you destined to be a monk or work in the fields? Let's begin. Okay. So like one of my friends said, his name's Dan. He said that they might be bringing back fist weapons because monks, they don't have really any need for weapons because none of their abilities are weapon-based. Not that I've seen yet, but most of the abilities are your hands. Okay, so we've equipped the fist weapons, which are basically just these little trainee hand wraps. And as you can see, they have taken the ranged slot out completely. I don't know what that means for rogues, because if Fan of Knives goes off the thrown weapon, maybe it'll go back to the daggers. But as of Miss Pandara, you can, if you have the ability to have a ranged and a melee weapon, you can only have one equipped at a time. So hunters can only have their bows, crossbows, or guns equipped. They can't have their stat sticks. So that means no relics or totems for anybody else, which they're kind of just stat boxes, just extra stats. But I mean, I liked it because of my Death Knight. I had an extra socket, I had extra stats, could reforge, and all this other stuff. But what are you gonna do? Okay, so what do we have to do here? Practice attacks. Okay, let's go do that. The first panda ability you get is called Jab. You jab the target, dealing 5 damage and generating 1 chi. 1 chi are these little bubbles up here. Now, monks are almost very much like rogues, where they have energy and they have a combo system. So like I hit this, get a chi point, and when I get full chi points, I think there's something that goes off of how much chi points you have. I don't have it yet, but I remember having something in my previous playthrough that did more damage the more chi I had built up. The only other thing on my bar right now is the Quaking Palm, which is I think that's the panda racial, where you can sleep somebody, and then just the starter food. interface-wise, Blizzard interface-wise, not much else has changed. The only really new thing is the talent system right now, but can't see that till, I don't know, like level 10? 15 I think it is? 10. Yeah, I did well. Okay, now I have to defeat some trainees. We can do that. I was on the beta earlier in the starter area, and they said one of these quests was bugged unless you were ranged. Yeah, they're saying in chat it's still bugged, but that's the thing with the beta though. You come in here, you find all the bugs, you exploit them, and then you tell Blizzard where the hell they screwed up, and they fix it. Another thing that monks have are stances, kind of like warriors. I don't know all of them yet. You can't train all the panda abilities yet. I mean, there are level 85 pandas, and I think they have all of their abilities, but you can't train past, I think it's past 11, honestly. But they have stances. This one increases my damage. There's obviously probably one for healing and one for tanking. Probably one for a PvP situation. But like I said, it's just speculation. I have no idea. Man, this is so hard to one attack. But I mean, as you can see, most of the pandas stuff, they're all melee. They're all hand weapons, so that you literally just use their hands to hit and stuff. So I mean, I don't actually know what they can use. Let's see. I don't know if this spellbook is going to stay like this, but they have all the passive abilities and the active abilities in separate tabs. I really hope that this is just beta, because if it's not, I know personally I would really hate it. Let's see. We can use pole arms, stabs, we can dual wield axes, fist weapons, maces, and swords. Okay, so I don't personally think that a panda would be very good with dual wielding axes, but people are saying that their best stat to go with is probably a pole arm or a staff. But I'm thinking they'd probably be best with, oh god, I just skipped that quest, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. The people in the beta are saying that the best panda weapon right now is probably a staff or polearm, but I say that the monk class is probably gonna bring back the fist weapon, because the fist weapon pretty much died a long time ago, because rogues could use them and a couple other classes could use them, but they stopped being viable and they really aren't really in the game anymore. But I think that with monks, I think they'll be viable. So remember, doing this quest, you have to get the fire out of his hand, which is just touch his hand with that new cursor thingy that we got in Kata. It's kind of new to me because I didn't come in. I quit WoW for like 9 months and I came back right at the end of Firelands, so new to me. But it's a Kata click thing. When I was going through this earlier, I derped on this quest because I thought that you had to actually activate the item in your inventory, because there were like 100 people standing here, and in the text it was spamming like /C burn the Edict of Temperance, and it was literally spamming, and I was like, oh well, that's what I'm supposed to do, and there are a bunch of people standing there, and I'm like, oh, derp 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 derp, and then I stopped doing it because somebody in chat goes, oh well, that's not the way you're supposed to do it, just click on it, and I was like, yeah, that's not what you're supposed to do. So I stopped clicking the orb, or the little fire thing that's in your hand, and I did it, and I was like, well, that was a huge derp moment. Let's see. Okay, so the fact that you're able to snatch the fire is no small feat. It's a scroll of wisdom passed down from the elders. Wisdom from a more peaceful time. The burning of a scroll is acceptance of tidings to come and a promise to action. Okay. Okay, now I'm ready to face a challenge, and I have to go defeat somebody. Cool. A couple of things that I really noticed about this expansion pack. It probably is just this starter area, because Blizzard sometimes gets really lazy when they do something and then overdo it. Now, I'm not saying the starter area is overdone, but there's an achievement to view all 10,000 waterfalls in the Pandaren expansion. So, maybe overdone a little bit, but I mean, if you just look around, like, this is probably one of the prettier expansions that they released. I mean, not really the pandas themselves. I mean, they're adorable. They are. But to say that they're really pretty is kinda meh. I mean, the male panda model is as you'd expect it to be. They're kind of beefy. They kind of look like Poe a little bit. Well, they really look like Poe, but they got the they do look like fierce pandas. Like, they could eat you like most pandas really could. Female pandas have a really serious badonkadonk issue. Now, you can't see it all too badly when they have the tail, but on my other toon, I hope they tone it down just a little bit, because, I mean, as a guy gamer, I can totally understand staring at an ass all day, but for people who really aren't into that, like myself, staring at something that jiggles and is that much in your face from 1 to 90 and then rating 4 or 5 times a week, that's a lot to have to stare at. So, alright, I completed that task, and now I have to go seek out his students. See, I didn't even know they were students. I just flew through the starting area. It took so long to do the starting area, though, because, like, a couple of days ago when they did a patch, they broke gathering quests. Now, I don't know if they broke gathering quests where if you had to loot a mob it would glitch, but anything that had to spawn on the ground, the respawn timer was, like, infinitely down or something, and you couldn't loot anything. And it was really frustrating. But, I mean, I got to sit around and look at a bunch of glitches, like, orc heads on panda bodies and tauren heads on orc bodies, which is really creepy. But if they're still there when we get to that part, I will definitely show you. But, I mean, the female panda model is definitely something for a cloak, because there's just too much there, in my opinion. And honestly, their model just looks too much like the female dwarf. They're short, they're pudgy. I mean, they're furries, and they've got claws, and their faces are much, much prettier. And they kind of look a little bit more ditzy, but their faces are a lot prettier than a female dwarf's is. And they're hideous. If anybody plays a female dwarf, I feel sorry for you, because they're hideous. Okay, we have to go see her, but we can't interrupt her. But I can help him. Okay. Something I noticed about the starting area is you get 2 things. You get a kill quest, and then you get a gather quest. And that literally is just every time you go to a new spot, it's kill, gather, kill, gather, kill, gather. Now, I know for most questing that's just kind of how it is, but oh my god, I have to put my looting on. Auto loot. Hate actually having to click on stuff. Another feature, speaking of loot, they put in is AoE looting. You don't get to see it here. I'll wait for these 2 things to spawn again. Everything in the starting area has a really quick respawn rate. And the minute I say that, they don't respawn. But everything, well, in the later part, like 10 to 11, like the very last part, they really quick respawn. Okay, they're back. I don't think so, bro. Alright. But alright, I won't worry about it. You'll probably see it anyway, but The AoE looting, if you've ever played any other MMO aside from WoW ever, you'll know what AoE looting is. Damn it. Okay. So AoE looting basically is if you kill a bunch of stuff and they're all near each other, you don't have to go and individually loot them. And I played Rift for a little bit, and something they had that I really liked was AoE looting. And I said to myself the minute I saw that, and I was like, WoW needs to have that. WoW needs to have AoE looting. Okay, let's see, did it work here? Yes, it does. It goes pretty fast when you've got auto loot, but I looted both of those. I got 2 quest items and 2 of these gray little, what are they? Inert elemental specs. I got loot for both of them instead of just the one. And I think that's really marvelous because I can't tell you how many times I've been, well, right now I have a skinner that I'm leveling up, and it's probably, I think skinning and leatherworking is probably one of the worst professions I've had to do so far, and I've got one of everything, and I honestly think that's the worst thing I have to do. I don't understand why I had to rescue him. He was just standing here. These guys are yellow. They're not even gonna attack you, dude. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. But when you gather up a bunch of stuff and you have to loot it to skin, it's really annoying to have to go through each mob and just click, 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 because when you kill something and you loot it as a really, I don't know how long it takes to despawn, but if you kill a lot of stuff and you pile it on top of each other, stuff can start to despawn. So it's really helpful to just click and then have everything and then start skinning. I don't know if it really has any other purpose. I mean, aside from the fact that you can get everything really fast and don't have to click a billion mobs, but... Okay, so here are your quests. Oh, I get a cloak and the bag. Okay, so we can talk to you now. And you... It's a pleasure to meet me. She spent a lot of time and thought since Master... I know I'm probably saying this wrong. Master Shang told her that we were in search of... Oh god, I can't do names. The Spirit of Fire. Let's just go with that. I know where he resides, but not how to reach him. Okay, I remember doing these. I have to protect her while she meditates. I don't really want to do a spoiler about the Panda Starting Area until we actually get to experience it. Because I kind of skipped through it and I didn't really realize what was going on until after I'd completed everything. But this part basically we have to go get a spirit. Oh crap. And we have to protect her because she's the only way to summon him, I guess. If you look, I got another move. It's called Tiger Palm. I attack with the palm of my hand, dealing 17 damage, and I deal 8 additional damage if the target is above 50% health. This costs chi. This costs chi. So, you have to... It's kind of like a rogue in their combo points. You have to make sure you've got your points up or you're not going to do anything. This goes with another move. I don't remember what exactly it was called. That you can... The jab, and I think the move was called Clobber. Those 2 moves you can use to build up your chi. I think. There's probably more as you level, but I'm not all too sure. I'm gonna be leveling this toon, DPS. I don't like to tank. Tanking is just something... I've done it as a pally, and I find it really frustrating. Because if one person stands in the fire and they die, or somebody gets aggro and it's a part of a mechanic and they don't understand the fight, you get yelled at, and I don't have the patience to deal with morons. I might take a stab at the healing, because I like healing, because it's pretty simple, because all you do is smash a couple buttons and stand there idly. but I'm definitely going to be leveling DPS if I go anywhere with this tune at all.